A very warm welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. This is Asna Fareen, and I'm joining you all from Bangladesh. I hope you all are doing great. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us from. A very warm welcome to everyone. We have a very wonderful guest, Miss Ranjana. She's joining us all the way from Uzbekistan, and she's here with one of the most eagerly awaited topic, PYP evaluation, and she's going to share the best practices about PYP evaluation. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Ms. Ranjana. A very warm welcome to you, Ms. Ranjana, and it's a pleasure to have you with us. And finally, you're here. We have been planning for this session for so long, and now you're here. I'm so happy to have you, and I'm really,
Thank you,
really,
Ashna, for
hope
this warm welcome. And I'm very
it
happy
will
to
be
be a
very
part.
yeah, it will be very meaningful and purposeful for everyone because people have demanded for that session like anything. So over to you, Ranjana. Please introduce yourself, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Ashna, once again. Hello, namaste, good evening, assalamu alaikum, privyet, hola, bonjour to all our esteemed guests, all our viewers. So, I would like to start this session with a quote from Mahatma Buddha. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the light of the candle cannot be reduced. So, I personally believe as much knowledge we share with people, it multiplies and it never reduces. So, that I would like to thank Asna and the Teachers Tribe International Community for providing this beautiful platform where the IB educators around the world are able to share their experience and their practices. My name is Ranjana, and I'm working as a PYP coordinator here at Tashkent, Uzbekistan. I have been working with IB from past 16 years, and I have gone through IB authorizations and evaluation. I will just share some of my experience and based on IB evaluation program guide. So hope you will find it useful. So without further ado, I will start the session. All right. So the purpose of program evaluation. Evaluation is an ongoing process of action and reflection. The main idea of evaluation is for schools to reflect on their practices. So, what practices are in place and how they can improve further. It is an opportunity for schools to receive support from IB. So, as many of us and educators around the world feel that IB is going to visit and scrutinize the school with findings of what they are doing wrong. However, I personally feel, and as an IB program leader, I know that this is the platform, this is a program through which IB would like to support schools, knowing their context and what feedbacks can be given for them to implement the program in a better way. The aim of the evaluation is to support the teachers, students, stakeholders, and the leaders with their practices. So, what is program evaluation? It is a requirement and a service provided by the IB to IB World Schools. Program evaluation is an assessment for schools to ensure that they are meeting IB standards and practices of each program. As I mentioned before, it is a process where they need to reflect and the whole community is involved. Support schools' efforts to continually improve the delivery of the program and result in a plan for the next steps and future actions to improve their program in a better way. So, what is the timeline for evaluation? The evaluation process usually starts 12 months prior to expected date. The evaluation process occurs every 5 years after the schools get the authorization. Previously, it used to be after 4 years from the first authorization, and after that, 5 years afterwards. However, with the new enhancement, evaluation takes place after every 5 years. The school creates the timeline for the self study process within following the guidelines. The IB communicates directly with schools regarding the submission, deadlines, and evaluation visit dates. There are times when schools they are having problems with their system and they would like to request for the change of dates. So it is possible for schools to request for the change of dates. I would like to discuss these reasons. There are schools which have continuum or multiple program evaluation. So schools can request for the same dates for all programs. Schools who are opting for synchronized visit with other accreditation bodies such as CIS or COBIS, they can also request for dates to align their synchronized visits. There are times when schools need more time to prepare. They are unable to complete their self studies due to various reasons. So they can request IB for the change of dates. Group of schools or districts, schools that belong to a group of schools and they offer IB programs and they are willing to align their evaluation can also request for change of dates. So we will discuss the program evaluation. What happens during the program evaluation? During the program evaluation, schools review all their documents, update them, and confirm that all their documents are complete, and they send it to IB. IB assess the implementation of the program standards and practices through a self-study process. They analyze and reflect on the impact of their program development effort. School identify factors that contribute to positive school outcomes, building on these to address challenges and to further develop the program. So, what are the components of program evaluation? The first part is preliminary review. In this part in this component, schools they review their documents along with all their team, they update and submit the documents based on the IB requirements. The second part is where IB reviews the documents and they provide the feedback whether they need to change something or all the documents are updated. The IB confirms the school and program documents are meeting the IB guidelines. If schools are asked to change something, they are given a time to revise and resubmit the documents as needed. The second component is the self-study part, and it consists of two parts. The self-assessment using the descriptors such as highly developed, developed, developing, etc., in alignment with the program standards and practices. Schools, they identify the areas of strength where they are really working very well and the areas where the further growth is required. As a whole school community, schools, they reflect on their practices and start gathering evidences. Information must include the whole school community, stakeholders, even parents and the students. Schools need to meet all the requirements of IB in order to remain authorized. After the documents are submitted and the self study is completed, then school request for the visit dates. The IB assigns IB educators trained for this role to conduct a school visit. The evaluation team assess the school's development based on each standard through observations, by meeting and interviewing staff members, community, and checking all the documents. The visits could be face to face, or in this COVID era, it could be remote visits. Visiting team identifies the areas of strength and areas which require further action. After the visiting team visits and conducts and assess everything, the conclusion part comes. At the conclusion, the evaluation team shares their finding with the school pedagogical leadership team. IB sends the final report to head of the school and the program coordinator. Head of the school and program coordinator then shares the findings with the school community after receiving the report from IB. Next part of the evaluation is program development plan. Schools engage in a continuous cycle of inquiry, action, and reflection to develop program development plan. After the schools are authorized, they plan for their program development and they start implementing. After that, they analyze what practices are in place and what needs further development. Feedback from the program evaluation takes place after 5 years interval when the program development plan is submitted to IB. Transfer learning to the new areas of program development, and it goes on. So, what is program development plan? There are various stages to create a program development plan. Previously, this program development plan is used to be like an action plan of the school. So I would say this is something similar to action plan. However, the format is completely different. The first part is the school needs to determine the area of focus. The focus is something that should reflect what is school's context and what are their priorities. The school need to identify the rationale for this area of focus and involve the whole school community in planning. It is very important and crucial that the whole community is involved in every stage of program evaluation. Then only the reflection is going to be authentic and real. The second part is identify the relevant practices. In order to identify the relevant IB practices, connect the area of focus to a group of practices. In this way, it will keep the action focused on the specific needs and the measurable goals. The next stage of program development plan is develop a work plan to achieve the school's goal. The school needs to find out the strategies, outline the actions, how they are planning to achieve these goals. It would be good if the whole team brainstorm, discuss, and decide the strategies, how they are going to achieve the goals, how they are going to meet the focus and take action in order to develop program development plan.
Are you there, Ranjana? Hello?
Sorry, I'm having some issues with the connection,
All
I
right, all
believe.
right. Take your time, take your time. Not an
Sorry.
issue. Hello, everyone. Miss Ranjana is facing some internet issues. She'll be back soon. She just texted me and stay tuned. She'll be back soon. Ranjana, we are waiting for you. So if you can come back, that would be really great. Let's see. So, meanwhile, if you have any questions about the content that has been shared so far, so you can ask your questions about the PYP evaluation visit preparations. So, she'll get back to you. I'm very hopeful that she'll join us back in a short while. Are you there, Ranjana? I can see you are unmuted, but I can't hear you. Can you hear me? So, audience, in meanwhile, you can write your questions. Ranjana will be back. She's very much here. I can see her, but I'm unable to hear her. Let me check again. So if you have any questions, please keep writing your questions in the chat and Ranjana will be back. I just confirmed from her she'll be back. There is some internet connectivity issues. Yes, she is talking about the IB planners portfolio and other things. Kartika has a question when she mentioned about the document. So what does it mean about the document? So yes, she meant that IB planners, portfolio, and other things. The scope and sequence, your program of inquiry. So basically, the overview of the entire curriculum. Okay, Ranjana, are you back? I can see slides moving. Yeah, Ranjana is back. So we have a question. Kartika asked that ma'am, when she was sharing about IB documents, is it about IB planners, portfolio, etc.? So I tried answering it. Ranjana, can you hear me? Am I audible? I can see you now. I can see you, but I'm unable to hear you. You can even join through a mobile device, and I can present the slides from here. Ranjana, we can see you, but you're stuck at one place. So she's trying to connect back so that she can come and present. I know it's a bit of hustle. Yeah, she's back. She's back. I can see her. Ranjana, can you try speaking, please?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, fine. Audible.
Can you hear
Audible.
me? Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. So, would you like to take some questions? Like
Yes, I'm
Kartika
I'm happy
asked.
to take
Yeah, Kartika
questions.
asked sort of question only, which I tried to answer. That what do you mean by IB documents? Is it planner, portfolio, etc.?
All right. So when we conduct the self study, it is basically reflecting on the practices of school. So when we go through the practices, those are all standards and practices. So when we go through all standards and practices, a part of teaching and learning, part of resources, part of other stuff is about gathering evidences. And the evidences are, of course, our unit planners, our scope and sequence, our students' portfolios, teaching and learning evidences, which how the teaching learning takes place in the school. All those evidences are the ones which we submit. There are documents which IB ask coordinators to submit before the visit, and there are documents which they see at the time of visit.
Thank you, Ranjana, for answering the question. Maha also asked one question. Are the evidence will be in separated files beside the development plan and evaluation documents?
Yes, the evidences are in separate files. So the schools, through remote evaluation, schools, they choose to create a Google folder or they create a Google site where they put all the evidences, they gather and store all the evidences based on the standards and all the practices. And the access is given to the visiting team, and they can see all the documents through the folders.
And if you are using any planning management system like ManageBack or Toddle, so you
Total.
can add on your visitors as visitors to those platform. In that case, you need not to create any folders. But if your school is not using any kind of management system, then you can create your own management system using the Google Drive and you can share that with the visitors. That works as well. Thank you, Ranjana, for answering the question. Then we have, yeah, okay. We have again Kartika asking, ma'am, is it necessary to document the assessment as soft copies and hard copy for evaluation? Okay.
Yes, actually, it is documentation is very, very important because that gives the exact picture to the visiting team. So assessments you can document, I believe, as a soft copy. That would be better because now, as we are in 21st century and we are more IT savvy people, so it would be good to scan the assessments and prepare the soft copies instead of keeping the hard copies. If you are having a face-to-face visit, then you can choose uh, to keep the hard copies. However, I would suggest that it is good option to keep the soft copies.
Thank you, Ranjana. Do you have any more questions? Ranjana, would you like to go back to your PPT and present anything? I think you left in between. So then we can ask the audience to ask more questions. So far, these were the questions, and I think you had answered all.
Mm.
And Maha is thanking you. Thank you, Maha,
You're
for such
most welcome,
wonderful
Maha.
question.
Mm, all right.
Perfect.
So, so basically, when we were talking about the timeline, it is about generally it schools start 12 months prior to expected date. However, there is no harm preparing ahead of time. So you can take 13 or 14 months also to start preparing for your program evaluations. More time you have with your team, you will be able to reflect on your practices in a better way. And also, it depends on school context, how much time teachers have during collaborative plannings and for the during the program evaluation, the extra time is required to discuss with the teams and prepare the documents. I believe I have touched the outline of most of the components of program evaluation. Uh, we can go a little bit more in detail about the self-study process, where as a whole team, the school can come up with descriptors which they would like to assess them on. And the descriptors could be, like as I mentioned earlier, could be well developed, developing, or something like this. Or you can create your own descriptors. uh, then you can analyze your own practices and uh, assess them based on those descriptors. And the good thing is, you, after analyzing yourself and through the self study, you can identify the focus areas which you would like to put in your program development plan. So when we were talking about the school visit, it is basically a triangulation of everything. The documents, program development plan, which is created by the school and submitted to IB. The visiting team, they observe the classroom practices, teaching and learning. They meet with the community, parents, students, stakeholders, management team. The interviews are also conducted with teachers, and after that, all the documents are verified, and whatever the documents are submitted, unit planners or folders, and what responses visiting team gets from the uh, after interviewing the people, are they aligned or there are discrepancies? So this is the main idea for visiting team, to identify all the things. So when I was talking about conclusion, it is like an exit visit where the evaluation team leader and the team member, they share their findings based on their 2 days visit, by interviewing various people, by observing their practices of the school, and also based on the documents which were submitted to IB, and they share their findings with the school pedagogical leadership team. And after this, the IB sends the final report to the program coordinator and the school principal or the head of the school, which is then shared with the community. I'm happy to take questions if there are any.
Thank you so much, Ranjana, for such an informative session, and I should say the much needed session for all the coordinators and teachers, those who are into the process of evaluation or preparing for it. So, as Ranjana said, that it's good to be prepared, and we, being experienced coordinators, we understand that how overwhelming it is, but trust yourself and know that you are already a part of IB. You know, you're going through your evaluation, so there will be things which will be on the track, and there'll be things which can be further improved, because we all are the part of that learning journey. And evaluation is also a learning journey. So enjoy each and every step of the evaluation process, involve all the stakeholders, and feel proud of what you all are doing. You know, there are many best practices to share. So stay strong. You all will come back with the flying colors. We are very sure about it. So if you have,
Remember, this is a self reflection process where
yes,
we are reflecting on our own strengths and weaknesses. So, no one is perfect. All schools have their areas where they need further support or development. And this is the main aim of program evaluation, where IB can support you further, give you strategies, give you techniques how you can develop program further.
yeah, very well said. And remember, each school is unique, your context is unique, and you're there to support the entire thing, whatever good things are happening in the community. So feel free to share the best practices, because IB is quite interested to see how new PSP is into practice, because everyone is decoding it in the different way as per the context. So, and it's challenging for everyone. And I'm also preparing for the evaluation visit, and I can understand how troublesome it might be when we, facing it for the first time. But I'm saying to myself that keep calm, things will be on track, right? And just instill the
Absolutely.
same confidence in your team as well. So wonderful, wonderful, Ranjana. Thank you so much for presenting such an informative session. And feel free to ask any questions. Ranjana is still with us and she's happy to answer any of your questions. So please ask questions about preparing for the IB evaluation visit, the topic of today. And we have Ranjana. I just want to add on over here, Ranjana is also a program evaluation leader. So she can answer your question in the best, she can try to answer your question in the best possible manner. So I'm really happy to have Ranjana for this particular topic because we wanted someone who has experienced it. So, it would be very easy for us. So we have GJS Global School, and the person is asking that, hi everyone, thank you for the insight and inputs, ma'am. Yeah, it's a pleasure. So could
Okay.
you kindly suggest category workshops which facilitators and
All
coordinators should
right.
go? She's
Thank you for the
asking about
question.
professional development.
And yes, one of the requirement is to meet the IB prescribed workshops. For coordinator, I would suggest role of a coordinator or leading the learning could be one of them. Role of a coordinator is going to be very, very beneficial. Category 2 or any other category workshop. For the staff, which is new, category 1 workshop is mandatory. It is compulsory for all staff members to be trained, including the head of the school. So yes, there are various workshops which IB offers. You can go on the www.ibo.org and can check um, the IB workshops which are coming, and then you can register your staff for that.
And you can also check with your IBWS manager that this is the context of our school. We have, these many new members coming in. So please check with your IBWS manager I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Asna, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Oh my God. We are playing hide and seek, it seems. Oh, so sorry, audience, but we can't help it. We are prepared, but internet is not prepared. All right. So if there are any more questions, you have few more minutes to go. It's 9 p.m. for me, and I know it's quite late for you all as well who are sitting in India or in Bangladesh. But yes, we are here to answer any of your questions. So please Oh my god, it's very difficult today. I'm unable to find the link as well because of the
Yeah,
connectivity.
I think
So
if
thank you
they
so
would
much,
post some
Ranjana.
questions.
I'm unable to show the certificate,
Apologies
which
from
I
my end
always
as
show
well,
for
Asma,
everyone.
due to,
So
but
I'll be
we all are
emailing
saying
you
in the
or
same boat.
texting you certificate back to you. The network
Thank you
is
so
too
much,
bad over
Asma.
here. We have Anjali. We have Anjali Tiwari with us. She has a question, and this is the question. She said, after submitting the school development plan, do we also need to prepare an action plan?
No, there is no requirement to
Can
prepare
you
action plan. However,
see
for
that
your own
question?
school, as per new standards and practices, there is no requirement for the action plan. However, it depends on schools. You can still have your own action plan and then can identify focus areas to put it in your school development plan. But there is no requirement from IB for the action plan.
I agree. I completely agree. Yes, the IB is not. IB wants to see the focused areas which are there in your
Focus area.
program development plan. You may have more than one program development plan, but IB wants to see, I think, only one, right? Right,
Yes,
Ranjana?
yes, only one.
Yes. And that may be, a short term one or a long term one, but you need to choose one which you want to showcase to IB. That's what is the
And
new thing.
it is not there are no requirement of how many focus areas you can take, but personally I feel you take few but create a better strategies and plans to address those focus areas.
Any other question? I'm able to present the slide, Ranjana. I want to do it for you to show. Can you see the slides? It's coming up.
No.
It's loading.
Yeah.
And I wanted to. Yeah, that's there. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Rajna.
Ranjana,
Thank you
from
so
all of
much
us.
for.
And we have Patrick. He is one of the ex-presenter from Kenya. Welcome back, Patrick. He is
Hello,
saying
Patrick.
hello to everyone. And we have people from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Kenya. And I don't know, some of them have not written where are they joining us from. So thank you, everyone. On like if you're from India or somewhere from nearby India, we understand it is a week off for you. And when you're here, we understand how passionate you are about the mission of being an educator. And same goes with Ranjana. Ranjana has also joined us on a weekend. Thank you so much, Ranjana.
My
And
pleasure. My
next week
pleasure.
we'll be back with one more topic, one more IB educator, and stay tuned. And so sorry for all the technical glitches from our end today. We can't help it. We got Bye
Apologies to
bye.
all the viewers
Oh, there's one more
for
question.
the network issues.
There's one more question. Ranjana, would you like to answer? I just said bye bye. So she asked
No.
something. This is
So,
time.
is it necessary for the teachers who have 3 years of experience in IB should attend Category 1 workshop?
Is
But
it necessary
if
for
they
the
have
teachers who have
attended,
3 years experience?
see, Category
No.
1 workshop is mandatory for the people who are new to IB. And if it is program evaluation, I don't think so it is necessary for them. They can register for Category 2 workshop
Two.
because basically
Yes.
Category 1 is all about understanding what IB is all about.
Yes. Thank you. Finally, bye bye. See you all next week. Take care. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you so much.